Well, welcome to everyone out there in Kangen Water radio world here at Kangen Water Nation on the Kangen Water Health and Information Call. My name is Terrence Hope, 6A, soon to be 6A2, here with Dr. Lisa Singletary, who's actually on sabbatical from the Kangen Water Call in the moment. And we are here every Wednesday and Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, USA. Right now, we are at 4 p.m. in the UK, still 9 p.m. in Dubai, and 10:30 p.m. in India. We're glad to be here every Wednesday and Saturday to bring you all the information you need to know about the Kangen water machines, what makes them work, how to use them properly, how to use them to help your health and get the proper benefits that Kangen water can have for you. And we're glad to do that every day, every time we come on board. And you know, we go over nutrition, hydration, and detoxification, and the various things you need to know to be thorough in understanding how to take best care of your health. And we're glad to do that as well with Kangen Water. So we'll welcome you in today and welcome you to the Kangen Water Health and Information Call. Glad you're here. Glad you came to see us, and welcome aboard. Stand by 1 second as we get ready to start. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Let me see if you can see me over here. And I think you can. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There I am. All right. So welcome aboard. And I'm Terrence Hope, your Enagic SD501, Kangen 8 Platinum SD501, Kangen Water Distributor, and 6A with the Enagic Kangen Water System. I'm glad to be here as well, like I said, every Wednesday and Saturday, so we can give you the best of both worlds of understanding what it is that Kangen water is and how to use it properly. Many of you, of course, come by and you see us here on the call with Dr. Lisa Singletary. She's on a bit of a sabbatical with us for a while, and we'll see when she gets to have the opportunity to come back and join us again. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to give you all the information that you need to understand the best aspects of Kangen water. Yeah? So today we're going to have a little treat. You know, oftentimes I give a presentation, I go through a PowerPoint, I explain the different aspects of Kangen water, what it is, how it works, how to use it within the body for proper benefits. Yeah. But today I'm going to actually give you a video presentation that I've done, which is part of our worldwide presentation on understanding the specifics of Kangen water. Here I actually use an ORP device. It's called our Oxidative Reduction Potential device. And that device shows you the antioxidant benefits that you get from Kangen water. Many times people refer to Kangen water as alkaline water. And they'll tell you things like, oh, the body is alkaline, they'll tell you. They'll say, drink alkaline water, eat alkaline foods, and your body will stay alkaline, and being alkaline is healthy. Well, it's not quite accurate, although it's very well-meaning. So you have to detox the body because it's self-regulating in its health functions. And when you detox, the body is better able to maintain pH balance in all the different organs. Yeah. So in fact, this is what we're doing with Kangen water. Yeah. We're detoxing the body to give it the best position to take care of itself properly. Oftentimes we eat a lot of junk foods. We take in a lot of substances that are harmful to the body, whether it's toxic pollutions, of course, medications can have their toxic effects, and we see that a lot. The different types of soda people can drink can be very toxic to the body as well. Yeah. So when we detox the body, we put it in a state where it's healthiest. And when the body being self-regulating can maintain the balance, including pH balance. And when the body is at pH balance, the body is able to maintain healthy function in all the organs. If the body organs are not pH balanced, that's where cell dysfunction occurs, that's where organ dysfunction occurs, and that's where chronic illness takes effect. Yeah. So today we're going to have a treat. We're going to go into our oxidative reduction potential video. We're going to show you all the different aspects, and I'm the presenter in this case, of course. And we're going to take questions towards the end. Yeah. So stand by one moment as we get ready to start our video for the day, oxidative reduction potential. And thank you all for joining us. Please stand by one moment. And there we go. And there's another fun fact. And I click with one button, and all of a sudden back here, and looky. Welcome to Kangen Water Nation. And who is that? C'est moi. Right now, if you can wind your clocks back a little bit in your mind, you'll understand that I am in the United States, and I'm on the East Coast of the United States. And as such, I am 5 hours ahead of you. So while you are watching this at 7 o'clock in the morning, I am awake at 2 a.m. in the morning. And I'm surprised I'm so gingerly and so upward and upbeat, but I'll be here to also take your questions. So we'll have our presentation on the Kangen water machine and what it's all about for about 40 minutes or so. And then we'll go into Q&A, where you will be able to type in on the WhatsApp SME Refreshers group any question you have, and I'll respond to them. I'm very thankful for the SME Refresher group for hosting me today on the call, and for our gracious sponsor, Madam Bokula of Abuja, Nigeria, for inviting me here to present to everyone and give you the best of both worlds, understanding hydration, nutrition, and detoxification, and hearing from what the benefits are of our Kangen water for our health. Yeah. So today I shall begin at the beginning. So what is Kangen water? Yeah. Kangen water, by definition, is something called electrolyzed reduced water. Electrolyzed reduced water. And I realize I'm on a backwards screen, so this might actually look backwards to you. So I'll have to change some things up for the next time. But electrolyzed reduced water is the water that we're talking about when we talk about Kangen water. So at the top here, Kangen water, electrolyzed reduced water. So this is the kind of water that we talk about. So what's happening? Why is this machine so popular? Over here, what I was showing you was a photograph of one of our machines. This is the most popular machine in Nigeria and most of the world right now. It's known as the K8, or the Kangen 8 machine. This machine has 8 plates on its electrical circuit. Standing behind me right now, I'll give it a little room, is this machine here called the SD501. This has been our flagship machine for the past, maybe 15 years or so. This is our newest brand, the K8, which has come on scene in the past 5 years or so. Very popular, particularly in Nigeria. It has a universal power supply. So you can travel with that machine anywhere in the world and plug it in and it will work. So it's a digital machine. It has self-cleaning features. It is quite modern, and what they call the Rolls Royce of our Kangen water machines. Yeah. So what makes these so popular? What's going on with these machines? Well, these machines are electrolysis devices. And our backward writing, which I'll get right the next time. Electrolysis is a process where electricity hits water directly at the molecular level. So if you can imagine, this is a strike of lightning hitting water. If you hit water with a very high wattage of electricity, it does something to the water. Yeah. So here we have an example, a symbol of water, H2O. Yes. Everyone knows that water is H2O. So if we hit that water with a blast of electricity, that is exactly what these Kangen water machines are doing. They're hitting the water with 230 watts of electricity. It's what we like to call a mini lightning strike. Yeah. And so when that occurs, it does something to the water molecule. So it takes our H2O and it divides it into 2 segments, OH and, OH negative and H plus. Yeah. So H2O divides into 2 parts. We end up with a single ion known as OH negative. Yeah. So that has a negative charge to it. This is going to get even simpler. The water of Kangen through electricity now has a negative charge to it. Yeah. The cells of our bodies have a positive charge to them. So if you look at this, this is the big symbol here. It's supposed to represent the cells of our body, and there are a lot of little plus symbols on it. That's our body and the positive charge. The Kangen water now has a negative charge. And so just like with a magnet, you just imagine that opposites attract. Yeah. So you have a positive and a negative. And when a positive and a negative come together, they're going to be attracted to each other. This is why Kangen water works. Kangen water through electricity develops a negative charge. The cells of our bodies have this positive charge. Negative is attracted to positive, opposites attract, and therefore the water clings to your cells, maximizing your detoxification, maximizing your hydration, eliminating cell toxicity. So now your body is in an environment where it can restore its own balance. If you imagine this, different organs in the body have different balance levels. We'll put it this way, they have different acid to non-acid levels. What we call acid is more acidic, and what we call non-acid or alkaline, well, is more alkaline, yeah? So even as you notice, my symbols here are orange, which represents more acidity, and purple, which represents more alkalinity. But we're going to show you something that's very specific about that. So opposites attract. The water clings to the cells, maximizing detoxification. Now, without the presence of toxicity, the cells can now keep themselves properly balanced. So those organs that are designed to be acidic, like the stomach, can stay acidic and be healthy. For women, the reproductive system is more acidic. Different parts of the digestive system, depending on the stage of digestion, are either acidic or non-acidic, or what we call alkaline. So the bloodstream, heart, the lungs, different organs are more on the alkaline side. But so keep in mind this, there are different organs in the body that require different acid to non-acid levels, or what we call pH levels, yes? So you have to stay acidic in the acidic organs, and you have to stay alkaline in the alkaline organs. Keep this in mind. Many people have talked a lot, and you all would have heard about this, alkaline water, yes? So the term alkaline water is actually very broad because there's more than one way that you could make a water alkaline, yeah? You can take minerals that are already alkaline, pour them into water, and that will read with a reading stick for pH, alkalinity. Why? Because I put alkaline minerals in there, so they were alkaline outside of the water, and they will as well be alkaline within the water. It will be the same. Now, people have confused that general term of alkaline water with the Kangen water machines and the Kangen electrolyzed water. Keep that in mind. That's a term I want us to take home. Electrolyzed water. Electrolyzed water. And the full term is electrolyzed reduced water. Just like I showed you at the beginning. Of course, it's all scrambled backwards for you, so we'll fix that next time for sure. But electrolyzed reduced water. And that is what Kangen actually is. It is the science term that refers to what these machines produce and what electrolysis or electricity does to water in restructuring it. It produces an electrolyzed reduced water. Say that with me, everyone. Can you say it with me together? 1, 2, 3. Electrolyzed reduced water. One more time. Electrolyzed reduced water. One last time. Electrolyzed reduced water. That is the term that we want to use to call Kangen water. We don't want to call it alkaline water. Why is that? Because like I said, there's more than one way that we can make a water alkaline, yeah? So in America, alkaline bottled water have become very popular, but people don't realize that simply taking sediment designed or artificial alkaline minerals and dumping them into water, that's not going to make your water antioxidant. It's not going to give your water a negative charge. Remember I said before that our water through electricity has now developed this negative charge. And so it is now opposites attract for our water. But if you take alkaline minerals and dump them in water, you increase the substance of calcium and magnesium in water. And at too great an abundance, or a substance that is not necessarily bioavailable, meaning it's not the kind of calcium or magnesium that the body can absorb to create energy. If that's the case, instead of having a positive, maybe mineralizing effect, it causes more of a calcium buildup that can lead to calcifications in the body, that can lead to imbalances in the body, that can lead to the pH being offline, and any illness can occur in the body if the pH is offline. So be careful when we talk about alkaline water, because it means many things, and it's not always going to be the healthy thing for you. But whenever you talk about, that's right, electrolyzed reduced water, no matter how you spell it, backwards or forward, it's the same. It's going to be a healthy water. Why? Because it's a negatively charged water. And the big key we're going to take home today is that opposites attract. Negative is attracted to positive, right? And the Kangen water is negatively charged, yeah? So I'm going to show you something with a little experiment we have. This is a meter. This is a meter called an oxidative reduction potential meter. Take a close look at it. The numbers are going to be backwards for you once again, as everything else. And it's going to show you the negative charge or positive charge of a particular liquid substance. So right now, that number is on the screen, but there's no negative dash in front of it. So that's showing you that whatever it's reading, in this case, the air, has more of a positive charge to it, yeah? But I've placed a few different beverages here on our display. On the very end here, I'm gonna put this up here, I've got Kangen water. And Kangen water has a negative charge. You might notice that there's a dash in front of the number on your screen, yeah? And instead of being that no dash, now there's a dash. That means there's a negative charge. And right now you're seeing in a flip version, a negative 474 or negative 480 or so negative charge volume to this water, yeah? I'm gonna show you a few other things. In America, this water here has become very popular. It's an alkaline water known as Essentia. It's a brand name. They have called themselves alkaline water in an attempt to mimic the popularity of Kangen. You see, because those negative charge ions in the Kangen water that are so important for its negative charge that attracts the water to your cells, well, those happen to be alkaline in pH. For us, on our machine, we only use the pH of the water as a measuring tool of the volume of negative charged particles in the water. Because they happen to be alkaline in pH, the more of them that I have in the water, the greater the alkalinity, and that's just telling me I've got more negative charged elements in the water to be attracted to toxicity in my body. And the more negative charged ions are drawn to positive charged toxins in the body, the more toxins I'm going to release. So 8.5 means I've got a smaller volume of these negative elements or negative ions in the water. And I'm going to have a milder detox because of it. The 9.5 means I've got a larger volume of these negative ions or particles in the water, and therefore I'm going to have a stronger detox. So I want to know what that is so I can make sure I give you a strong detox or a mild detox depending on your body type. And we'll go over that a little bit later. So I just poured some of this water here. It's called Essentia. It's very popular, but it's an alkaline mineralized water. And notice there's no dash in front on that screen. If there was a dash there, it would be negative, but with no dash, it means it's positive. And right away, it goes to the high, mid positive numbers. I think it's showing 135 or 137. If I were to put the bowl down and just stir it up a little bit, it might go a little higher. But it's a positive number, yeah? And I'll put that back. But what we're looking for is something more like Kangen, because Kangen automatically has a negative number. And we're in the 500s and the negative there. This water I poured about 2 hours, 3 hours ago, yeah? I could put it down and I can stir it up just a bit for you. So that number will go up a little more. That's about a negative 541, 540 or so. But what you can see is that it has a negative charge to it, yeah? And that's the thing that we want to notice, yeah? So the same thing is the case as I go down the line. In the center over here, what I put was some tap water. Just got that from the sink, and I put it on there. There's also a positive charge to it, and you see that number is in the high 300s in the positive range. Yeah. So once again, every other beverage you're going to find on the market is going to be positively charged, unless it goes through an electrical process or some other rare processes on the planet where you can get the negative charge that's produced in electrolysis. And the key that I'm pointing out, that this is positively charged and this is negatively charged. We said negative is attracted to positive, so we'll eliminate toxicity with that. Even free radicals are positively charged. Cellular toxicity is also positively charged, yeah? So a negative is going to be attracted to the positive, and it's going to neutralize the free radicals, neutralize cellular toxicity, be attracted to the positive charge of the cells, and eliminate toxicity entirely. And with that environment, your body can now restore pH balance without the burden and presence and hindrance of cell toxicity. But if I have a positive charge element, as I do with the Essentia, yeah, I said it's positive because there's no negative dash in front of it, so it's letting you know it's not in the negative range, instead it's in the positive 500s. That means you don't have any ability to detox, because now, what does it say here? Like things repel one another. Positive and positive is going to repel one another. Negative and positive is going to attract one another. This is what we have with Kangen, negative to positive. This is what you have with other liquid substances, positive to positive. In this case, you have a positive 500. That's called a very great oxidizing potential. Yeah. The same is the case when we look at the tap water, as we pointed out already. And we have a couple of the popular waters over here, and even beverages around the world. Ginger ale is very popular. People like to drink it, and they think that they can have better digestion with it. In fact, it's a very positively charged inorganic acid that's very damaging to the body. It even causes a pH imbalance, which leads the body to react and pull calcium and magnesium out of the bones to try to rebalance your pH. So just very briefly, I can show you that these different waters and liquids are as well positively charged. So once again, I'm over here with the Kangen, and we said this is negatively charged, and that easily goes to a negative dash in front on the number on the meter. And we call this meter an oxidative reduction potential meter, or an ORP meter. And we can go very quickly over to something as volatile as soda and see if I put the wand in there where it comes out. And that's a very strong positive 324. So it's much more positive and much more oxidizing, or not having the ability to detox the body, causes more problems. I'm going to go ahead and just rinse that off a little bit, because I got a lot of soda on there, so I don't want to mess with other readings. If I can look as well at this water at the end, it's called Dasani, very popular in the United States, positive 408 or 7 and 8 and more. So very positive number. We want to avoid the positive numbers. But once again, if I get back to Kangen, I have ourselves a negative number, negative 430, 471. And this water's been out for a while. When it first poured, it was around 700. So we recognize the difference in the waters, the difference in beverages. We recognize what we're looking for. We want the opposites to attract. Yeah. And I can show you some other detail when it comes to things like pH. Remember, the pH is not so much the thing that's important. What we're looking for is a negative or positive reading on any of the substances. Yeah. And I can do things like this, just to give you an example of what can happen in the body when it tries to keep itself in a pH balance. Yeah. This is a liquid ion drops. And what it does, it color codes liquid to the pH that it is, depending on what the substance is made of. And you might be able to notice the colors here as they show up. This is more of a blue or a purple. These different colors are showing up in different fashion, and they will show the pH of the water. But now remember, the pH is not as important as the negative or positive charge. And we already showed that Kangen represented here was the only water that showed itself to be negatively charged or beverage amongst what we tested. But you can see the different colors that showed up. This is the tap water. It's a neutral and it's green colored. This is Essentia. It is a blue, which is an alkaline, which doesn't matter because it's still positively charged. This is Kangen, which is alkaline, but it is negatively charged. So the most important thing is the negative charge reading. So now, if you go down the line, you'll see the difference. But what if you were to eat certain substances? Your body has to constantly rebalance itself. And what you'll see in these beverages, as I go down the line, is they maybe have their certain pHs as they do, but there's an effect that's had when you drink this. So for example, this is of course the Kangen water. I can pour it over here, and this essentially will say alkaline because it's already alkaline. I can pour it over here, the tap water. It's going to affect the tap water because it has more negative ions than the tap water does. And this is a water pitcher with more Kangen water already poured into it. So I'll pour some more in here, just so we have more to work with. And I'll go over to this. Now, this is what? This is smart water, which is really just another type of purified water. People think it's really super healthy, but once again, as you saw, it's positively charged. Now, this is soda. If you notice, of all the substances, that's Dasani water, another purified water from Coca-Cola. Not good for you. It's positively charged. But notice the soda I couldn't affect. That is such a high concentration of positive ions in an inorganic acid that the negative charge of the Kangen does not affect it very easily. So, but its toxicity is very strong, whereas just a simple drop or two of it can overwhelm whatever the substance is. Even the negative charge of our Kangen is overwhelmed by it. So I say this to everyone to remember to avoid drinking things like soda and carbonated beverages because they are inorganic acids and they can damage the body. Okay? So this is the skinny or the summary of what Kangen water is. So remember, everyone, what is Kangen water? Electrolyzed reduced water. Yeah? Say it again. Electrolyzed reduced water. One more time with me. Electrolyzed reduced water. And electrolyzed reduced water, as Kangen water, has a negative charge to it. It's attracted to the positive charge of cellular toxicity in your body and the positive charge in your body to maximize detoxification, neutralize free radicals and cellular toxicity, and allow your body to rebalance. And when your body is at pH balance, it can resume normal, healthy function. Yeah? So that's the first segment, just talking about the water itself and letting you understand what it's all about. Your body is self-healing as long as it is in a proper detoxed, hydrated state. Yeah? So let me show you something else here. Once again, this is the Kangen 8 machine, the K8. Yeah? And some people earlier on today talked to me about the business of Kangen water and what it's about. Because you can own one of these machines, and as an owner of the machine, you are given an ID number by the company. And with that ID number, you are allowed to share the water with others and sell to them. And if you do, the company will give you a referral bonus for being involved in sharing the technology, having the compassion to share good water with other people, and sharing the technology that can be helpful for them. You know, you want to stay healthy, you want to properly hydrate, you want to properly detox, and you want to properly nourish the body so that it can be healthy and do what it's designed to do. One other quick note before I go on there, just something that for you to keep in mind. So something I said was that the body was self-healing, yes? And as a self-healing entity, think about certain things. So I talked about the opposites attract. I said that negatives attract to the positive, yeah? And one of the things you could think about are the animals in the wild. Now, in this depiction, we're looking at deer and rabbits, the things you might see in America, in the Northeast. Deer and rabbits and raccoons and squirrels and foxes and, you know, swans and birds and elk. In Africa, you know, out in the wild, you would see something else, yeah? Elephants and giraffe and zebra and lions, and be careful with the lions, well, and the tigers and so forth, you know. But if you notice something about the animals in the wild, and if you reflect that to the humans, our friends, our family, people in our community, The animals in the wild are not suffering with all the diseases that humans are. Humans are suffering all over the world with diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, kidney failure. Cancer is rampant. People get cancer like it's the common cold. Everyone we know, somewhere in every community, there are people there who we know who have that issue. But if you notice something about the animals in the wild, they have none of these diseases. Now, we are at the top of the food chain, so we're told. So we're supposed to be the most intellectual, the most intelligent. And so if we are at this top tier, how is it that we, at the top of the food chain, suffer greater illnesses than the animals that are in the wild? Yeah? Notice one particular difference. We are exposed to different environments. Animals in the wild eat what? Fruits, vegetables, grass, grain, protein. Yeah? Humans are exposed to chemical toxicity in our tap water at a greater rate. We are exposed to foods that are not really foods. Junk foods. You know, in America and some of the other countries other than Africa, people eat McDonald's and they drink soda and they eat French fries and they eat a lot of things that are not healthy for them. You know, but you can also be exposed to other chemical toxicity and cause many of a litany of problems for the body. And throughout Africa, there may be different types of toxicity that you're being exposed to. And there may be certain things and certain types of foods and substances in those processed foods, if you're using any of those, that can cause toxicity in the body. Yeah? Animals have none of that. They eat fruits, vegetables, grass, grain, and protein. And they get water, what they have access to. So they're getting what their body is designed to have. Humans very often don't have as much of that. Even when we're trying to eat well, we might eat a great deal of baked goods. A lot of baked goods don't have the enzyme action and nutrient action necessary for your digestion to be effective. So you can end up with toxicity in the body because of the types of foods we're eating. And around the world, many times that involves junk foods. So if you have the proper food in your system, opposites attract. Proper in your system, you get proper nutrition. If there's an injury to the body, you know that put a Band-Aid on it, give it a day or so, and it heals itself. Yeah. If there's a damage to the skin, you wait a few days to see how it's healed. Yeah. But you expect it to. If there's a break to a bone or fracture to a bone, you put it in a cast just to keep it still, because you know that all you're doing is keeping it still so that it is properly aligned. And with that proper alignment, it can heal itself evenly. But once again, it's healing itself. This same self-healing ability goes on right down to the cellular level in the body, as long as you have proper hydration, nutrition, and detoxification. Yeah. So that's a quick note on Kangen and the body, its needs, and what we got to do to give you the basics of what your body needs in proper detoxification, hydration, and energy. Kangen also produces energy levels, and we'll go over that in a separate time. Yeah. So we'll go back to what I was talking about, because people were asking me about the business of Kangen. Because if you own one of these machines, you can as well share the technology, and the company, which is called eMagic, will pay you a commission. So we'll look over here. All right.
This is the K8.
Stand by. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Whoops, where am I? And we'll stop this video. And where am I? I'm somewhere on Zoom, somewhere in the world. All right, here I am. And we're back with my video. Come here, video. There we are. All right. So I just wanted to give a little overview, regarding the oxidative reduction potential, the ORP, so that you can see more directly what that looks like on the meter and have an understanding of its benefits. So I talked a lot in that video about negative and positive, but what we're looking at when we see an ORP meter is that a negative charge denotes an ability to detox the body. Yeah. And it's important to remove toxicity. I kind of hammered down this, this explanation every time I do a presentation, because there's so much information out there about alkalinity, and not enough about the antioxidant effect on the water. There's so much information about the body being alkaline, and that's being the benefit of our machines, and not enough about, well, your body's really self-healing and self-regulating. And all we're really doing is removing toxicity so your body can get back to its job. You know, it's about self-healing. The body actually takes care of itself. So I wanted to hammer that down more and just be, you know, my consistent self, you know, on that subject matter. The Kangen water oxidative reduction potential meter is showing you that certain substances have an antioxidant effect, yeah, and other substances do not. So we want to be, you know, clear about, you know, what it is, so we explain it properly. Yeah, you'd be surprised how oftentimes, you know, I'll go out here talking about ORP and ORP and ORP, and someone comes back, oh, you have alkaline water. You know, listen, the term has become pervasive. You know, it's become, you know, the staple of what people think. So I've got a big uphill climb to reteach it. But I know that you people who come to our presentations and those who get the chance to watch our YouTube presentations are well versed, well educated on the subject matter. So we want to make sure that stays, you know, consistent, you know, throughout. So we have a few minutes here. So I'll take some questions from our worldwide audience if you have any, but we want to stay to the key of what Kangen water is. In the presentation, it looks like I started to go into a little bit of the talk about the body organs and the body, and so forth, and where did I put it? I put it someplace. I'll find it in a second, but it's a delightful little chart I'd like to make reference of, because it does well at showing you the different organs. Maybe I over belabor that point, but you keep that in mind, and we'll take some questions. So right now, it looks like we got a question from the Northwest. I'll go ahead and take the question and ask to unmute. And whoops, ask to unmute. All right, so it looks like Juanita has a question from the Northwest. Juanita, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, hi, Mr. Hope. I had my video on, but I'm a little rugged right now. My question that I chatted in, and she left, Margie accidentally dropped off, but we were wondering, how do we get a copy of that demo that you just did?
Oh, my demo?
Yes.
It's on YouTube. It's called Hope Explains the Kangen Water. Hope Explains the Kangen water machines. And stand by 1 second.
There we go. There's Margie.
All right. Did I do that? Here. So you can just grab this link here. I'll put a little note on it. Hope Explains the Kangen water machines. Hopefully I spelled that right. Always trying to make sure everything is right on it. So there you are. So you all can grab that link and have at, use it as you like,
Okay. Yesterday I interviewed a caregiver, and her father is a retired physician from the Valley here, and he met her mother she's a nurse. And Sheridan is the gal that I interviewed. She's 60 years old. And of course, I showed her, part of the job description would be learning the Kangen water technology. And I'm going to send her what the doctors say on YouTube. And I wondered, right now I'm speaking to another gentleman in Bakersfield, California. And we're talking about 3 hours from Torrance. And he's a real estate agent. And I'm introducing myself to him on another platform, I'll say. And I'll be honest, a dating platform. And I wanted something to show him. And I was just messaging him, whatever the term is. And I invited him to jump on. I sent this link to him. So in the future, I mean,
Yeah, what
we
you
know
would do, can you hear me?
I don't know why we got some noise going on in the background. Maybe because two of your hosts' things are lit up that your microphone's on. Your host lit up that your microphone. I was getting, it's gone now. I was getting, what do you call echo? So now that you sent this on the chat box, and Margie, look on the bottom of your screen where it says chat or reactions, and you could raise your hand or ask Mr. Hope a question. And Margie's been very instrumental with me. So how do I get these two links out of the chat box? The chat box. Like if I don't open those before you click off, when you sign out, then I lose all that.
We'll just copy them and paste them to your browser. That's how you keep them. But when you talk to doctors, medical professionals, you want to send them directly to the references of electrolyzed reduced water. What did I click on? Actually, I clicked on something I didn't mean to. I just wanted to give something on electrolyzed reduced water. I didn't know I landed. Send them. Don't give them that link. I just give you one.
Okay, I was wondering. I see why not. Why not?
You're right. You want to send them to the National Library of Medicine. Stand by 1 second. Electrolyzed reduced water. Everyone's got hip out here how to call Kangen water these days. That's good. Yeah. So you want to use that link to PubMed because there are clinical trials listed there, science reviews, information that is very thorough that a health professional would need to understand it.
I've got a brand new laptop, so I'm going to be very careful to do this right. Copy. And then I'm just going to paste it somewhere to me, which would be maybe my email.
Yeah, so that's, and for everyone, key piece of information. And that's why I lean on that term all the time. Electrolyzed reduced water. I'm in the right place, I'm in the wrong place. Electrolyzed reduced water. That's what you want to use to explain the water to people, particularly medical professionals. Early on, there was a great deal of pushback from doctors, right? What was happening is the individual would go to their doctor and they would say, hey, I'm drinking this alkaline water, what do you think? And the doctor would say, alkaline water, that makes no sense. Oh yeah, my friends tell me it's beneficial for my health and I should get a machine that produces it. And the doctor would quick to say, alkalinity doesn't control, that's not how it works, it doesn't make any sense. And they wouldn't advise it, right? Because it was being explained as alkaline water. And chemically speaking, for a chemist, you're going to take calcium, magnesium, potassium, something alkaline, put it in water, and the water will now read the substance that you put in there. It would have read it separately if you just tested it from the jar it came out of. Now you put it in water, it's going to read in the water. And they know that drinking something alkaline doesn't make your body healthy. They also know that there's a variation of pH levels in all the body's organs. So the concept of what you're eating and its pH having a direct effect on your body's health as a benefit, the body is self-regulating. So they'll quickly dismiss it, as they should. But once you look at electrolyzed reduced water, and then you get the opportunity on the National Library of Medicine to look at the plethora of clinical trials and science reviews, now they've got something to work with. So that's what you give your health professionals, and same thing to everybody else.
Okay. I'm
They want
having
my
a little
alkalinity.
technical problems. I'm just going to
That's
take a
fine.
picture of your screen. In Margie, if you want to raise your hand, just go on the bottom screen there, and it says reaction, and then you hit raise hand if you want to.
Sure, and I'll just share just quickly
Okay.
what I'm looking at here. So if I go to the page, the National Library of Medicine, pubmed.gov, here's where you'll see all the different reviews and the clinical trial information. It's done all over the world for many, many years, and it's all available here. So if I then go to this page here and do a search on PubMed, I'll come to many different subject headings. Positive effect of electrolyzed water on gut permeability, fecal microbiota, and liver in an animal model, Parkinson's disease they're talking about. Nephroprotective effect of electrolyzed water against cisplatin-induced kidney toxicity and oxidative damage in mice. Here they might be getting into like kidney failure issues. Electrolyzed reduced water protects against oxidative damage of DNA, RNA, and protein. So you get another review there. ERW, I'll abbreviate, scavenges active oxygen species and protects DNA. So you see what I mean? So you're just going down the list here, and then they can look at different things. They may even be able to look at, let's say, particular, health issues like, let's say, diabetes. Wow.
National Library of Medicine.
National Library of Medicine. A record of all the science reviews done worldwide. Whether it ends up at the bedside or not is another question in terms of being used in medical practice. But all the science information is here to review. Suppressive effects of ERW water on regarding diabetes, on alloxin-induced apoptosis and type 1 diabetes. So whatever the subject matter is, plug it in. Once again, we can't make any medical claims here about Kangen water.
Mm-hmm.
That's our brand name. But anything anybody wants to know about the water, they can go ahead and look that up on the science reviews on PubMed.gov. All right, so we'll go with that.
An issue came up yesterday. Well, it came up a couple days ago. My other caregiver, Ivan, had a loss in his family. And in their culture, they cremate the body. And they had to pull the plug, right? So this happened on the 2nd. And he couldn't sleep very well the following day. And he texted me and said, Juanita, I can't come into work. I'm not doing very well. And of course, I understand. And then as I'm wondering, because I had things that I needed to do, right? Appointments, and I had to switch a few things. And by the time he woke up, he went to the doctor, and the doctor, and I used language probably that I shouldn't have, but the doctor prescribed him a sleeping pills. And Ivan's probably 185. He's well built. And that sleeping pill that he took that afternoon or whenever it was, he did not wake up until 4:30 the following afternoon. And he called the doctor, and the doctor told, or probably the nurse, told him just to flush it out. Well, this man could not come to work. He could not function for a good 36 hours. And I thought, I told him yesterday when he came to work, I said, that's almost malpractice.
What's your question regarding this?
Well, the question was, I wanted to talk to Dr. Lisa about, do they not prescribe pharmaceutical drugs and I worked in the pharmacy, according to my body. I weigh 120, he weighs 185, you weigh what you do. So the amount of milligrams for that compound mixture was, I won't say deadly, but it probably would have killed me. So
Well, you know,
do
that
not
kind of
doctor.
with the pharmaceutical, the pharmacy department that issued it at the hospital, because you are supposed to give medications per the person's body weight, and it's not supposed to go over that amount. And you can double check there. I do recall some years ago there was a huge lawsuit. No, it was actually what happened. There was a huge investigation at the National Institutes of Health of all places in the clinical center, where they were prescribing some of their medications for their in-house patients at greater levels than the body was supposed to be handling. And they were cited for, what was the term they used? Conducting experiments or whatever with their patients. It was actually a very big deal, you know, kind of a national news item. But in that case, it had to go back to the pharmacy department. In your case, let them go back to the pharmacy department, go check there. And that's where you can check to see if the doctor was doing what the medication was said it's supposed to be doing, because it'll show up as, you know, on the prescription that was given. Check there, start with that, and, you know,
I correct myself. He didn't go to his doctor. He went to the walk-in clinic. So it was just random, whoever was on call.
Yeah. So check there, and that's where you want to go with him for that, or let him go and check it out. But let me pause you for a second.
Thank you.
Out here. Yeah. And there we go. All right, so we're about to end off our call. I'm so glad everybody came out today to our presentation, and we do want to take whatever last questions you might have or comments for those who are remaining on the call. We'd like to give everybody a chance to say something, have a say. Have a word, and add to the richness of the call in that way. But once again, you can come to our call every Wednesday, and again every Saturday. Did I lose a person here? Just a second. No, and every Saturday at our 1 p.m. Eastern Time, United States. I believe right now it's 4 p.m. in the UK, because they went back an hour, and I think we're not losing time until tomorrow. I hope I have my clocks right. You know, well, I guess I must, because you all are here, right? You know, but yeah. So we'll see you again, and just once again, if anyone has any questions, just go ahead and go to the section there that says reactions, and under reactions, you can click on something that says raise your hand. I do want to make sure that I'm thorough for everyone, and I'm glad to see we have representation around the globe here today. I see some of our visitors from the UK, I believe. I do see Dubai on the screen. Glad to see you all joining us today. I do see, of course, the United States, you know, coast to coast, and I'm glad that you all made your way to the call. Let me take a look here 1 second. I had something up to show you. To close out, and where are you? You know, hold on 1 second. All right, am I here? I am right here. Like to keep things at my fingertips when I can. Sometimes that's whoops, they're not as hold on 1 second. All right, good enough for me. I'm gonna just 1 second for you, show you one of our slides doing the different time zones. Right now I do have to make an adjustment. My Zoom, I get so lost with all this technology sometimes. Actually, I don't really. But just sometimes what I want to use is not really present. Here we go. There we are. Okie doke. And sharing main screen. And main screen is up. And what I wanted to show you disappeared. Right. Ta-da! Great, got it. So that's not gonna work. All right. Never mind. It's far too many buttons, and I'll be practicing with this a little more for next time, okay? So we'll see you again here in the Kangen Water Health Information Call. I'll see you again on Wednesday, and then of course again on Saturday next week. So come on in, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your questions, understand what Kangen water is, use it properly for the body, and get everything you need so that you can actually get every benefit that Kangen water machines have. And I thank you all for coming to our call today and joining us, all right? All right now, take care everyone. Oh, I'm so happy. Just the way it is. Take care. Bye-bye.